Thank you for listening to the Golden Hour Drip podcast with me, Logan Lee Miller. Enjoy the show. Welcome back to the Golden Hour Drip podcast. I'm your host, Logan Lee Miller, and happy Friday. Oh my gosh, it has been such a long week for me, and I didn't even realize that tomorrow is Friday. Like, I was just sitting here hanging out. I just finished up some details for the Golden Gal Network first retreat, which is in June. Oh my gosh, I got all the details finished and linked, and I'm feeling so proud of myself. It was honestly like a crazy busy Thursday, and I was like, oh, this is stressful, right? And on top of that, I have my last yoga teacher training final teach out tomorrow, Saturday. So I'm like just all over the place, to be honest, and I have been trying so hard to like keep myself together. I did finish my last notebook, which is insane. I love to keep like a little journal of each episode. I like write down my thoughts, my feelings, and I just finished up my last notebook. So of course, there's nothing that heals my soul, mind, and body quite like a new notebook. So I ran to Target, I picked up new notebooks, and of course, we have the new one for the Golden Gals, for the Golden Hour Drip. I have this like little mushroom situation. It is so cute. It's like one of these thicker ones. This one was $8, but the other notebook I picked up is like, it's like a bigger pad. It's about the same size as this, but the pad flips over, kind of like a waitress's like book. It flips over. And I have been using that to like detail my day of, okay, this is what we're going to get done. This is what we're going to get done. And I've done it for this couple, since like Tuesday. So just a couple days of doing this, but it has been so impactful on just like keeping my brain in order and like moving forward. I'm feeling really good, feeling really happy about that. But I didn't include that it's podcast day. So bear with me. I have 3 submissions. Thank you so much to everyone who has submitted. If you've submitted and haven't heard your story yet, I might not have gotten to it yet, or it might be the similar theme to someone else's story or question that week. So I will get to it when I get the chance to. But if you want to submit your story, you can always DM me at Golden Hour Drip on Instagram, or shoot me an email at goldenhourdrip at gmail.com, and let's get into it. So, submission number 1. I met my boyfriend in the last part of the fall semester, and we did fine during the winter break, but I'm nervous for summer break, if it's going to be different and harder since it's a longer time period. Any tips for long distance relationships? Oh, this is tough. Okay, so if you guys met in the fall semester, it's now like the spring semester, and that seems like a pretty new relationship. But I wouldn't be like sad that summer is coming, because I feel like time apart can really accelerate the inevitable, which comes with every relationship, right? Like it speeds it up. You get to the point quicker, and it can be, it's not good or bad. Like I wouldn't put a, stereotype on one way or the other. What it really means is you can't change how it's going to happen, but being apart can either accelerate how close you guys are going to get and how together you should be, or it's going to accelerate the breaking up. If you guys break up, it means it was never meant to be, that it was just meant for a season or for something to learn. And I wouldn't put so much weight, especially because it is such a new relationship, on make or break. Like we have to have a perfect relationship going into summer. We have to talk every day. Like when you put those expectations on yourself, it can be really hard to like fully be in the relationship. And then that also causes fights and tension, which long distance is going to anyways. It's going to cause like that uneasiness because you're not seeing each other every single day. And there's 2 things. It's like distance makes the heart grow fonder, or out of sight, out of mind. None of those are, well, one's good-ish, one's bad-ish, right? Like, out of sight, out of mind. It might help with your heart hurting. Like, okay, like, I'll see him next weekend, this week, like I'm busy, I'm working, I'm at my summer job, I'm at my internship, or maybe I'm just babysitting or chilling at the house. I'll see him next weekend. And then when I see him next weekend, it'll be great, it'll be amazing. I'll see him, I'll say hello, and our love will have grown this past week, and I won't feel that sad because he'll be out of sight, out of mind. Out of sight, out of mind also means like, oh, they're not right in front of me, I'm not gonna think about them. He's not going to think about me, and he could entertain like other relationships or realize that this isn't the relationship for him. I also think that you should take it into consideration of what you want, and not necessarily like, is he still going to like me? Is he still going to want to date me? And instead, like, do I feel horrible without this person? Maybe I'm codependent, or do I miss this person a lot? Do I really and truly feel that like our relationship could take it to the next level? It's going to be a growing time period in your life anyways, whether it's to practice your independence or to stretch this relationship. Like, it's gonna go either way. Now, tips for long distance relationship, I would first say, like, get rid of your expectations on how your communication is gonna look. Because if you say, oh, I'm gonna call you every single night, I'm gonna text you every single day, I wanna text you throughout the day, like, that's putting a lot of pressure on both parties. And if something comes up and they like forget to call, forget to text, it doesn't mean that they don't love you, it doesn't mean that they don't care for you, but life happens, right? And summer is spontaneous, right? We might get plans. We might work late, something might come up, and it doesn't mean that we're like over and done with this relationship. It just means like, hey, something came up. If you are so used to seeing this person every single day for every single moment, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, I'm gonna miss him so much, I'm gonna want to text him all the time, that's fine, but like, you can't expect the other person to be able to give you 24/7 attention as well, right? So I would lower the expectations. I would actually try and get rid of any expectations you might have for the communication, for, you know, meetups, because expectations only lead to like getting upset, getting hurt. And honestly, like, I don't want you to get hurt. I don't want you to feel bad. So it's also going to reduce the pressure on one another, and you can actually focus on spending time with one another when you do get that one-on time. Because if you think, oh my gosh, like, we're gonna meet this weekend, it's gonna be amazing, we're gonna do all these things, it's gonna be so cool, and then like you get there and you get in a fight, it's because you're putting pressure on the relationship and you're not allowing it to just be, to just grow. So get rid of any expectations. Second is make time for one another. So I'm not saying you have to call me every single night, but try to like make sure that you're making time for them, giving them a call, talking to them on the phone or FaceTime, or shooting them a good morning text. Like, there's no expectation tied to it, but you can still like be appreciative of when they call you, you answer and you give them your full attention. That's always helpful. I know one summer Garrett and I did long distance. It was only an hour away. Like, it really wasn't anything. But I remember feeling a little homesick for him, like, as a person, right? And thinking, oh my gosh, this sucks, this is horrible. We both have jobs. It wasn't like I could be like driving back and forth to where he was living. He also had a roommate for his internship. And I just remember thinking, this sucks, this is horrible, but it accelerated our relationship in a way that was like, okay, like, when I do get to see him, I want to see him, right? Like, I want to fully pay attention. I want to be invested. I want to make sure that I'm being present, right? So it's not make or break. And it sounds like you guys went through winter holiday just fine. And I would definitely, you know, don't put the expectation that summer is going to be the same as winter, though, because winter, most everybody's inside, right? Like, you don't go out, you don't have fun as much. It's winter time. So Hey, I hope that you're enjoying today's podcast episode. Just a quick interruption to let you know that Golden Hour Drip has a weekly newsletter that comes out. This has bonus content, weekly updates, and future event information. If you haven't already, go down to the show notes, click the link, and join today. Now, back to the show. Keep all of that in mind, and good luck to you and your little honey. All right. I've been trying to eat better and cook most of my meals at home, but have troubles turning down dinner or coffee date invites from family and friends. How do I make it easier to stick to my goals? Well, okay, for me personally, it's hard to say no to a social invite because I love people. I want to be talking to my people. I want to be hanging out with my people, and I don't want to turn them down because I think that being social is so powerful. I love to talk and chat with my friends. I think that's so fun. So I definitely would have a hard time, making the commitment to eat dinner at home. And then if someone texted me and was like, do you want to go get dinner? I'd have a really hard time saying no to that. But an alternative is you could invite them over for dinner, right? Like if you're trying to eat healthier, maybe invite your friends over to share a meal at your home. Say, hey, like I'm cooking on Thursday night. Everybody bring like your own beverage and, let's hang out, right? Like that could definitely be a possibility. And then you would be able to, one, eat at home, eat better, and two, spend time with your friends and family. Now, if you are trying to eat better, you could be making the dinner choices better. So instead of, your family member or your best friend inviting you to go get takeout or get something that is not on the spectrum of being exactly like healthy or whole food, maybe suggesting a alternative spot that you guys can eat at that does kind of fit in with your goals. It's not going to be perfect because obviously you're still eating out and you can't control all the ingredients or all the processes of how the food is created or made, but you can offer suggestions that are a little bit better, and that is how you can cope with, hey, I am going to eat out, but we're eating at this spot instead of this other spot, and it's going to be totally better for me. Another option is to look at the menu beforehand, to look and see, hey, this is where we're going to eat at. What can I find on the menu that is going to be healthy for me, right? You can compare the menu instead of getting kind of overworked or overwhelmed when you get there and you're like, oh, what do I pick? Do I pick this? Do I pick this? Being influenced by the other person on what they're going to order. Just knowing the menu before you go is really helpful. And it also helps if you're suggesting alternative places to find something that they're going to like and something that you're going to like. And that will help you on your goal. Another thing is to say no. And no is so hard. But when you say no, it allows you to say yes to the other things in your life and say yes to the things that you actually want to say yes to, instead of when you agree to something and you're feeling icky the entire time. You're like, oh, I said yes to this, but I don't really want to do it. It's not really in my goal list. It's going to take time away from something that I love instead. So saying no is so powerful, and it can be really freeing to know in your boxes, hey, only on Friday nights can I go out with my friends or out to get coffee. Every other night I'm gonna eat from home. So if someone texts me and says, hey, do you want to go out to eat, saying, hey, I would love to, but I can't tonight, but I can do Friday, right? That gives you a little bit of leeway to still stay in control of your decision to eat from home, and not going out to restaurants, because on top of that, it is expensive, and maybe you don't want to share your health goals with your friends saying, oh, I'm trying to lose a couple pounds, or I'm trying to be healthier, or this health condition runs in my family, so I want to make sure that I am setting myself up to prevent against that, right? There are so many different reasons on why you don't want to eat out, And if you're not like wanting to share those, although your friends should understand no matter what, if there are your actual friends and not like, you know, fake friends or something who only care about themselves, they're gonna understand. So being honest with like your goals of saying, hey, like I'm trying to eat better, I'm trying to eat more at home, I'm trying to save money, like all of those are great options to kind of explain to your friends on why you're canceling or why you're saying no. Like, you can say, I would love to hang out with you. I would love to, you know, go grab supper or grab dinner or whatever. But like, I made this commitment to myself that I'm going to stay at home. I'm going to eat healthier. I'm going to cook all my meals, or I'm trying to save money. So I don't want to purchase something from a restaurant, or I only go out on Fridays. Those are all great points, and if they truly are your friend and truly want the best for you, they will honor that, and they're not going to make you feel bad. They might even have suggestions, or like when you tell them, hey, like I've been trying to eat more at home, you know, would you like to come over for supper one night? Or yes, you could even inspire them. Like they could say, you know what, me too. I need to eat more at home. I need to save my budget. I need to eat healthier. I need to utilize my kitchen because I'm paying so much for this, you know, apartment or whatever the things are. And maybe you can inspire them to also eat more at home. But I definitely own coffee. Coffee is so hard. Like you guys know I love coffee with all of my heart. I am always the first one to say, yes, like I would love to go out to coffee. I want to go hang out. Like, where do you want to go? Let's try out these new coffee spots. And so it's hard to say no, because even if you really, really, really want to, for me, I've been trying to make coffee at home. Like I have my little Bambino. So when someone says, do you want to go get coffee? One, I rationalize it. I'm like, you know what? I have not gone out for coffee in like a week or, you know, a couple of weeks now. You know, I can go out for coffee this one time, but I'm not going to make it a habit because my commitment is making coffee at home. I have this beautiful Bambino. I'm working on my latte art, trying to get it up to par, get it to be amazing. And that's a commitment that I've made to myself, and I'm going to keep it. I can't exactly, I mean, I could, but it'd be a little weird if I invited a friend over for a morning coffee. Like, hey, do you want to come to my house at 7:30? I'll make us both a coffee before work, right? So there are going to be some instances where you can't make it at home, or you can't offer to host them, or you can't offer to make them a coffee, which is okay, right? Like, it's not going to be perfect, but the main thing is acknowledging that you have a goal, you have a commitment to yourself, and you're sticking to it. And soon your friends will realize like that you're serious about this, and they're going to offer alternative hangout spots. They're going to say, oh, like I understand you're not eating out right now, but maybe let's go on a picnic. Let's both pack ourselves a sandwich and go on a picnic together. Or, hey, do you want to go bowling, or do you want to go read in the park? Like, there's so many different alternatives to hanging out than just like going out for supper. So you can definitely brainstorm, get all the ideas that you could possibly want for hanging out with others that aren't eating out, right? Like, I love to eat out, I love not doing dishes, but if you made the goal to yourself, keep the goal. And it's perfectly fine to have that goal and to say no to people. I think sometimes we're so scared to say no to people because they're going to get upset. But if they get upset, they weren't your friend in the first place, right? Like, they truly don't have the best interests out for you. They're not understanding, and they don't want to see you succeed. So you don't even want those people in your life anyways, right? So thank you so much for those who submitted questions. I had another one here, but we didn't quite get to it. You'll just have to wait until next Friday for your Ask the Gals segment. And speaking of podcasts, I'm gonna do a short little plug here for my little sister, Lily. If you listen to Monday's episode, I announced that she was going to be launching a podcast. I just didn't know what date she was going to launch it. She dropped her first episode on Monday. I listened to it. It was great. It was amazing. If you would like to find Lily's podcast, this is my little sister. She's done like three episodes on the Golden Hour Drip podcast. But her podcast is The Green Frog. Okay. I'll link it down below so you can find it. Go show her some love. Go give her some support. And thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I will see you in the next one. Bye.